Live from Rialto, California, Mark Flores presents the Pay-Per-Review Wrestling Podcast. Tonight's topic, Money in the Bank 2016 Predictions and Perspective. Here's your host, Mark Flores. Hey guys, how's it going? Mark Flores here with another installment of the Pay-Per-Review Wrestling Podcast, where I give perspective and analysis on WWE, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and wrestling news and updates as it comes along. Tonight's topic is Money in the Bank 2016 Predictions and Perspectives. Tomorrow night we're gonna have the Money in the Bank event. So we have to realize there's a lot of things that are going to be coming into play. There might be a few upsets. We have to see what's going to be going down as far as that goes. I mean, the predictions I'm going to have might surprise you, might not, but it's just good to take those into perspective for tomorrow night. Because as we all know, the main event is Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. That's what's going to be on everyone's mind. Who's going to be taking home the WWE Championship, and I'll go into more detail with that. And the other matches as they come along into the match card here tonight. Tonight's Pay-Per-Review Wrestling Podcast has been brought to you by Game Swappers. Game Swappers, buy, sell, and trade your retro games and next-gen consoles. That's PS4 and Xbox One. You could come into contact with Game Swappers via Instagram on at GAMESWAPPERS. That's GAMESWAPPERS. Game Swappers, buy, sell, and trade. Keep in mind, guys, that if you do share any which one of my podcasts, whether that's the Mark and Andre Show, a current events conspiracy theory podcast, or the Pay-Per-Review Wrestling Podcast, or Retro Collecting 101, where I give you tips and on how to amass a great retro collection with video games and systems. If you share any which one of those podcasts, you'll be able to get 10% off towards your purchase at Game Swappers. Simply share the podcast, take a screenshot, show proof to whoever's working at Game Swappers that day, and you'll get 10% off. You'll also get 10% more towards trade-ins if you want to do that one. So you have the two options, whether you want to trade, whether you want to get 10% off towards your purchase of your retro games, or if you want to get 10% more towards your trade-ins, you'll be able to go that route as well. Either or. So the match card predictions that I have, the first one we have on the docket is the Lucha Dragons versus the Dudley Boys. Now the Dudley Boys are losing a lot of stock as of late. So this match pretty much is right along the lines of where it needs to be as far as the pre-show goes. The Lucha Dragons have been glued together, and this whole unity of the Lucha Dragons have seemed to be force fit because they've recently come together ever since Kalisto lost the U.S. Championship. So Sin Cara and Kalisto join up again to become the Lucha Dragons. The feud between the Dudleys and the Lucha Dragons really can't go as far as anything. Simply because the Lucha Dragons, when they cut promos, they don't do it. They don't do it very well in English. But with the Dudley Boys. The Dudley Boys have a lot more to lose on this end. So my prediction for the Lucha Dragons versus the Dudley Boys, I think the Dudley Boys are going to come out victorious on this because the Dudley Boys have a lot more to lose in this situation, simply because they have, they're on a long string of losing streaks. These guys are not supposed to be at this position, especially with the prestige of their tag team. The Dudley Boys are the most decorated tag team in wrestling history, so these guys definitely deserve something else. They definitely deserve to be back in the upper echelon of the tag team division. So hopefully a win over here definitely scrapes this whole storyline, this whole feud away, and it can actually bring the Dudley Boys back to where they need to be. The Lucha Dragons, on the other hand, don't have much to worry about. I mean, Kalisto is great as a singles competitor. Kalisto and Sin Cara do definitely work well together. So we have to see what goes on from there. I would like to see both of them go at it in a match after, so say the Dudley Boys take the victory, tomorrow at Money in the Bank, I would like to see Sin Cara and Kalisto go like at it in a singles match. Hopefully they split up and there's like this cruiserweight title that they have to go for after the brand split comes into play, but that's longer down the road. Clearly the Dudley Boys have to win this, at least to bring them back to some relevancy towards the tag team division. The Lucha Dragons can lose a match and really don't need to worry about losing the fan base. That's one of the things I wanted to make a statement about, is that the Dudleys have a lot more to lose in this situation than the Lucha Dragons do. So the Dudleys win it. That's my prediction on that. The next match we have on the pre-show is the Golden Truth versus Breezango. R-Truth and Goldust against Tyler Breeze and Fandango. The Golden Truth's gimmicks is going over a lot with a lot of speed, so it's good to see that both are actually going over in the twilight of their career. I think R-Truth and Goldust really work well together. It was great to see the buildup of these two guys along the way. From what I'm seeing, I want to see something like this. Same thing in the perspective of the Lucha Dragons and the Dudley Boys, but the Golden Truth, I want them to actually win this. That's what I have predicted. And then when they actually win, I want to see like a split of Breezango, not immediately, but longer down the lines, because a feud between two people that actually have the same kind of mindset, where they're both narcissistic, would really work well with me. I think it'd be pretty amusing to see what kind of competitions they might have. Who knows if they don't even wrestle? They will do like pose downs and stuff like that. I think it would be cool to do that. Simply because that, the Golden Truth is nothing but a comedy act for now. Hopefully, if they are taken more seriously, they would actually go into the tag team division higher along the lines of it. But due to the fact that the tag team division is really dense right now with a lot of great talent, that might not be the ideal thing that WWE wants to do. Next on the list, we have Apollo Crews and Sheamus on the main match card. WWE wants a fresh face. They want a fresh face gracing the mid card for now, because Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and those guys, they're going to be in the upper tier of the match card now. But what better person than the athletically gifted Apollo Crews? This guy, as I mentioned before in many of the podcasts, this guy is actually a grade A talent. He can work. His moveset's really incredible, and he has $1 million smile to go with it. I feel Apollo's WWE debut, though, could have been a lot better, but now I think that WWE is actually giving him a chance and actually trusting him, putting more faith into him. So with that, builds up his confidence, gives him a lot more momentum to go into these matches to pull a lot more effective matches along the lines. Sheamus is a workhorse for the WWE. There was no speculation of ever him quitting, so this is more reinforcement to me saying that he is a workhorse. This guy will do whatever WWE wants him to do, so if he needs to lose against Apollo Crews tomorrow at Money in the Bank, then he'll do it. That's my prediction. I think that Apollo Crews needs to be elevated as far as his stock goes, because a man that has a moveset like his, a man that actually is able to do the stuff he does, it's really impressive, especially with the size that he has as well. I think Apollo Crews is going to take this victory, and I think it might be one of the nominees for the match of the night. But let's see. Hopefully tomorrow we definitely get to see that. The next match on the docket, we have Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin, and this is one of the more confusing storylines to date. Out of all the podcasts I've ever done, this whole thing, I cannot believe Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin is still dragging out this long. I don't know if Dolph Ziggler is going to, win this rubber match between the two. The main business perspective is that Baron Corbin is going to develop into a monster heel, and I expect no one else but Baron Corbin to win it. This is a very easy one to predict. I don't think Dolph Ziggler is going to be doing any major moves till the end of his contract, where he probably will stop wrestling. This will give more reinforcement to actually give the W to Baron Corbin. Unfortunately, Baron Corbin to me still needs a little bit more polishing. I was a little rough on him in the beginning, but I've he's actually gone over on me with some of the stuff he does. So I just wasn't really impressed in the beginning when he was actually on NXT just doing squash matches. So Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin. I have Baron Corbin taking the victory over Dolph Ziggler on Money in the Bank. The next match we have is Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Becky Lynch. This whole four circle of these four divas has been a very exhausting storyline for the WWE fans. What's the best thing to take away from this situation is that these ladies do definitely know how to put on a great match. I'm not saying that this is always boring, because when the bell sounds, it's definitely a great match. But when storylines come into play with like the same crowd, a lot of people will become tired of it. I myself am definitely kind of exhausted of seeing Charlotte, Natalya, and Becky Lynch all in the same mix of fighting each other, or like in tag team mixes and stuff. I want to see Sasha Banks come up and actually do her thing. What might happen is that Charlotte and Dana Brooke might take the victory. I think I have them securely on that. But there's also a strong chance that Natalya and Becky Lynch might get the victory, because what Sasha Banks might do is interrupt the match and distract Charlotte and Dana Brooke, thus building up a storyline for SummerSlam. Then you expect Dana Brooke to actually be beaten by Sasha in Elimination Chamber, and then have Sasha beat Charlotte for the WWE Women's title at SummerSlam. That's how I think it's going to play out, but we'll see. I do have a lot of high things to say about Sasha Banks. I think she's an incredible diva. Her moveset's very incredible. But with Natalya and Becky Lynch, Charlotte and Dana Brooke, 3 out of the 4 of those divas definitely do know how to wrestle exceptionally well. Dana Brooke definitely needs some polishing. So expect a good match. Expect a really good match between the 4. So hopefully, as I predicted, Charlotte, Dana Brooke might take the victory. Or on the other side, I just have a strong feeling about this as soon as I'm reading this, is that Natalya and Becky Lynch might get the victory with Sasha Banks interrupting. So the next match I have on the plan here is Rusev versus Titus O'Neil. Me, myself, I would really enjoy Titus winning the U.S. Championship. I think he was he was suspended, rightfully so, but it was really excessive. It actually took him over past WrestleMania this year, the suspension that he had with the altercation with Vince McMahon. This guy's just a class act with the WWE, and he's also a great worker. The only reason that I do not believe that Titus O'Neil will win the U.S. title is that Rusev barely got this U.S. title, and to take the prestige of him being a monster heel is actually really insulting to the WWE audience. Like, you don't put the title back on Rusev and expect for him to hold it for less than a month. I just don't think that's going to happen. Rusev is definitely a great heel. He definitely does his job well. He definitely deserves a long title reign with the U.S. title. But with the variable of Titus O'Neil actually shocking the world and winning the U.S. title, I think that's on the minds of WWE, but I don't think that they're actually going to go with that. That wouldn't be that predictable. You'd actually get a crazy pop for the victory, but who knows? We'll see. More than likely, because Money in the Bank, besides the Money in the Bank event, this is nothing more than a build-up to Elimination Chamber and SummerSlam. So I don't really expect much besides the Money in the Bank competition. But we'll see. I believe that Rusev will definitely retain the title over Titus O'Neil. But it would definitely be good to see Titus O'Neil actually winning it as well. So the next match on the docket that we have here is the New Day versus Anderson and Gallows versus Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains. This will have the possibility to steal the show. These all three out of the 4 tag teams definitely have experience working together. The Vaudevillains are a little fresh, but they do have experience working with Enzo and Cass, so we'll definitely see what happens there. I can't imagine the New Day losing these titles just yet, but it'll be good to see the 3 teams give them a run for their money. There's only one team that will look like they're going to take the title one of these days, and that's Anderson and Gallows. One tag team that looks like they don't belong at all is the Vaudevillains. but that doesn't take anything away from them. They're great talents. They're great tag teams. I don't necessarily enjoy their little get up where they're from the 1800s and everything, but with what they're able to do, with presentation wise, because one of the guys, I think Aiden English is the one that actually is a theater major and actually has done theater. They can develop a different kind of image for the Vaudevillains, and I think it'll work. This current thing with the Vaudevillains isn't really working. The New Day are on the brink to be the longest reigning, they'll have the longest tag team reign in all WWE. I certainly hope that they'll do that, because these guys came out of nowhere to get where they're at. As far as Anderson and Gallows, I think they're going to be the ones to take the titles, probably at a SummerSlam or Elimination Chamber. Enzo and Cass are very entertaining. We'll definitely be able to see them do something with the titles very soon. So these guys are very over. They sell merch, so it's going to go to rewards that they might get the titles one of these days. Maybe in calendar year 2017, but who knows? They could build the yearning for them for Enzo and Cass to win the title so long that people will love it when they actually do win it. So I have the New Day retaining in the 4-way tag match. I'm really excited to see this actually play out, especially since it's been a long time since a fatal 4-way tag match has been into play. So let's just see what happens with that. Hopefully some good can come of it. Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Alberto Del Rio, and Sami Zayn versus Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho. They're all going against each other in the Money in the Bank competition, the Money in the Bank match. Whoever gets the briefcase at the top of the ladder will get a shot at the heavyweight title whenever they want. I have this list that I'm going to tell you right now. A list of all the guys that are in this competition. And I'm going to tell you why they will win it or why they won't win it. I think that's going to be the best thing to do for this, since there's a lot of people on this list. This is a very dense lineup to set up for Money in the Bank. So I'm going to break down a couple, the reasons why a certain wrestler will win it or why they won't. So Kevin Owens will win it because he's been the best heel in the business for the last year. I think Kevin Owens is a class, not a class act necessarily. His character's really is, his heel character definitely works on me and I like it. He's the best heel in the business. He sells merchandise. He's a fan favorite to the blue collar guy. I'm a big fan of Kevin Owens myself. So why not a better opportunity than him to actually get the Money in the Bank briefcase and actually hold on to it till he finds a great opportunity to win it. Kevin Owens won't win the Money in the Bank briefcase because a lot sounds like Dean Ambrose might just win it and might slip from under him. They might give Kevin Owens the ability to actually go for the title, just reaching and just getting it. But at that very moment, Dean Ambrose comes and swipes it. I think there has been a lot of missed opportunities for Dean Ambrose to win the title, and I'll go into that as soon as I mention him. But that's my reasons for Kevin Owens. Let's do Cesaro this time. Cesaro will get the Money in the Bank briefcase because he's a fan favorite. He has the Cesaro section. Cesaro is a wrestling purist's wet dream. This guy definitely has the ability, the speed, strength. He's one of the strongest wrestlers on the whole roster. He has a lot of fans everywhere he goes. His new gimmick is really going over with the fans as well. But Cesaro won't win the Money in the Bank briefcase because he needs another low-level title run first. I think people are missing out on the fact that Cesaro actually needs the Intercontinental title or another U.S. title run. I think that is something that I want to see first before he actually goes into the World Heavyweight title scene. I know that that's saying a lot. I know that he's actually World Heavyweight title caliber, but I want him to actually have a little, a run with another title first. That's what I want to see. That's something definitely I would appreciate to see as well. The next thing I have here is Alberto Del Rio will win the Money in the Bank briefcase at Money in the Bank because WWE is desperate for a Latino wrestler. I know that's a bit of a stretch. We have Kalisto and we have Sin Cara, and we have the Hispanic genre being played in with Diego and Los Estrellas. I think that's what they're called, or they want to be called that. But I really don't think that's a good enough excuse. But that's the only thing I have for Alberto Del Rio because, and the way I think about it, I know Alberto Del Rio is definitely a great heel. I think he was a great world champion as well. But Alberto Del Rio won't win it because the pieces for him winning isn't there yet. There's not a lot of reasoning for him to be winning the Money in the Bank title. He should already be in the World Heavyweight title picture. You should not be reverted back to the Money in the Bank scene after you're able to, after you were able to do it once already. That's what I'm thinking. But hopefully he's able to do what he does best. And he might not win it, but maybe he'll do what he does best and actually put on a good match and make it entertaining. I like seeing the last ladder match at WrestleMania was really entertaining as well, and it had a lot of people playing in it as well. So that's what I want to see from Alberto Del Rio, at least, if he doesn't win the Money in the Bank briefcase. Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn will win the Money in the Bank briefcase because WWE wants to shock everyone. Sami Zayn has had numerous opportunities to win several different titles, whether it's the NXT Championship, whether it's the Intercontinental title, and the Intercontinental title again at the Fatal 4-Way at Battleground. But Sami Zayn is one of those guys that needs to develop a little something. And what I'm going to tell you is this. Sami Zayn won't win the Money in the Bank briefcase because he needs to build prestige a little more with the crowd. I think that he's lacking the fan base. I know he's definitely entertaining with the audience, but I know for sure that Sami Zayn can keep putting on stellar matches, and actually gain a lot of momentum for him to actually win a title in a singles match versus actually doing it via Money in the Bank. The world title definitely outweighs Sami Zayn in this particular moment. I think it's a lot larger than he is right now. So as soon as you build a little bit more prestige with the crowd, maybe we might have a little Daniel Bryan 2.0. I know that's hard to say, but you may have the pieces with Sami Zayn to actually build a Daniel Bryan-like character with him. I don't think it's his time yet to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, so we'll see. We'll see about that a little along the road, probably about a year from now. Dean Ambrose will win the Money in the Bank briefcase because the Shield 3-Way the same night will be very, very impressive to see. That would be so incredible to see all three of them actually fighting for the World Heavyweight title. I think that would be amazing. All three guys definitely know how to work together. They were in a tag team trio a long time. A lot of you do know the Shield, so I don't need to get into that. But the Shield 3-Way, the Shield Fatal 3-Way the same night Dean Ambrose gets the briefcase would be definitely incredible to see. Dean Ambrose won't win the Money in the Bank briefcase because the WWE fans have sailed off of his island. And what I mean by that is this. We are sick and tired of seeing Dean Ambrose slowly, creeping to get the World Heavyweight Championship. He teased it with Triple H at the WWE pay-per-view event before. I believe it was in February. I forget what it's called right now. But anyway, he lost. He didn't win it against Triple H during that one pay-per-view. And then there was that other time at Survivor Series where we all thought that he won it in the ladder match against Seth Rollins, and he didn't. He was actually DQ'd for hitting the ref. This whole thing just really, we're all kind of tired of it. You need to have him win it at this point because we're all exhausted of hoping that he wins it. I think some of the WWE fans have definitely sailed on Dean Ambrose, but who knows what we'll see there. Chris Jericho will not win it. There's not even a possibility of him winning it. I'm sorry, but it just won't work. Chris Jericho is doing the best job that he does being a heel. I think that his time in this organization has already, he's already done blossomed. He did a great job with the program with Shawn Michaels in 2008 as a heel. I think that Chris Jericho is going to be doing the same role that Alberto Del Rio does and just do nothing but elevate talent. That's what he does best. I know Chris Jericho is very, very excellent at that. He knows what to do, and he's a lover of the business. So he'll definitely put himself on the back to have someone pin him in any event. And in regards to Money in the Bank, he'll definitely do what he has to do to be to elevate his stock a little higher. So I just don't think he's gonna. There's not even a reasoning for me to even have him will or won't. I mean, we all know that Chris Jericho definitely won't, like 100% sure, so there's not really a variable for him actually winning that. The next two matches that we have AJ Styles versus John Cena. Now this match is something that's been growing on me for the last couple of days. I want to see John Cena finally lose to someone that needs to get a lot more reassurance now because he's on the losing end of the last couple matches that he's had. AJ Styles is an incredible talent. For him to actually be lose twice to Roman Reigns, once to Chris Jericho, and once to who else did he lose to? Well, twice. Okay, we'll just go like this. He lost once to Chris Jericho and then twice to Roman Reigns. That's something that doesn't sit well with me. This guy is an incredible worker. AJ Styles is probably he's top 10. The top 10 wrestlers still today at 38 years old. John Cena has been in the WWE business for almost 15 years. He knows what he has to do in this situation. He has to lose to AJ Styles for him to get that prestige. To get the prestige of beating John Cena, you have to beat this guy. You have to beat John Cena. The future goes through him, and this is what's going to have to happen. And if it doesn't, that's unfortunate. Like, I think that if AJ Styles loses against John Cena, I think the whole arena will probably riot. I'd be very upset if that happened. That just doesn't go well with me. I hate seeing AJ Styles lose matches. So that's just my main thing with that. But John Cena definitely knows what he has to do in this situation, is put AJ Styles over. I know he's a company man, so he'll do it to the best of his ability. This along with the Apollo Crews Sheamus match, AJ Styles and John Cena and Apollo Crews and Sheamus have my nomination for being the match of the night. I want to make that a solid prediction. I definitely do believe that they will. I have AJ Styles beating John Cena. This has to happen. AJ Styles is overdue for a victory. A higher tier victory over John Cena will definitely elevate his stock a lot more in this business. I know a lot of people are especially over on him, but this can really help out a lot. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. This is the most sought after match since Seth has been back in the mix. After his injury in the fall of last year, this guy's been gone too long for us. I definitely miss Seth Rollins. I've been patiently awaiting this Money in the Bank main event, and tomorrow I get to watch it. So this goes without saying that I really need to see Seth Rollins reclaim his title. But since it's Money in the Bank, since this kind of pay-per-view doesn't really have any fair exchanges as far as the title goes, we'll see what happens. Hopefully Seth Rollins finds some heel way to actually win this title, but more than likely Roman Reigns might actually walk away with this. So there's three scenarios that I have predicted for Seth Rollins actually winning. Seth Rollins actually wins clean. Dean Ambrose cashes in, and they do a fatal three-way. And then Seth Rollins pins Dean Ambrose to get the title. Seth Rollins turns Seth Rollins actually gets Anderson and Gallows to beat Roman Reigns up a little bit, and then gets him thrown back in, and he actually wins, and then he's actually the member and the head leader of Bulletproof. There's been a lot of talk saying that, Seth Rollins hasn't won it by himself. Seth Rollins hasn't won it by himself. He's had the authority. He's had this. He's had that. So I think that's actually building up for him to actually be associated with a group. And what better group to be associated with than having him, AJ Styles, Anderson, and Gallows in Bulletproof. I think that'd be pretty cool to see. Roman Reigns, on the other hand, he has no looking at the other side of the coin. I really don't think that Roman Reigns can actually be beat. I think WWE is actually trying to make this guy look like a monster and a beast to try to conquer Brock Lesnar, and a lot of people aren't really for that. So I have Roman Reigns beating Seth Rollins unless some Money in the Bank chicanery comes down the way, but that's what I'm thinking. And those are your predictions for Money in the Bank 2016. It's on tomorrow on the WWE Network. Keep in mind, guys, that this pay-per-view wrestling podcast has been brought to you by Game Swappers. Game Swappers, buy, sell, and trade your retro games and next-gen consoles. That's PS4 and Xbox One. You could come into contact with Game Swappers via Instagram at GAMESWAPPERS. That's GAMESWAPPERS. Game Swappers, buy, sell, and trade. Keep in mind, guys, that if you do share my podcast, you'll get 10% off towards your retro games or 10% more towards your retro games trade-ins. Simply take a screenshot, share it, and then let Game Swappers know that you did. Show proof, and then you'll get the 10% discounts headed your way. So please share the podcast if you definitely do enjoy the content. Another thing that I have mentioned too for Game Swappers is that on June 26, 2016, from 1 to 7 p.m. at 2201 North White Avenue in Pomona, California at the Finish Line Sports Grill, Game Swappers is going to have a buy, sell, and trade event. There's going to be free tables to reserve. So you can actually call up Game Swappers and let them know you want to reserve a table. From the last time I've heard that that Game Swappers only has about 7 or 6 tables left. So keep in mind that they are first come, first serve. So if you do have albums to sell, whatever to sell, anything to put on a table to sell at the buy, sell, trade event, make sure to let Game Swappers know. Once again, the event is on June 26, 2016, from 1 to 7 p.m. at 2201 North White Avenue in Pomona, California. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely excited to see Money in the Bank tomorrow after work. I'm going to be able to see it either on my phone. I'm going to find a way to see it. I'm definitely going to see it live. I'm going to try to do live post analysis with it on Spreaker.com. So definitely stay tuned for that to get more perspectives. I'll do my best to write notes when I can on my phone about the matches. So there'll definitely be some perspective on that. But other than that, guys, you guys be safe. Keep the wrestling game going. Just keep being good fans. That's all WWE wants. But anyway, you guys have a good night. Thank you.